Hey, I'm Christine.
I'm Colin.
And we
We're
are Southpaw, and you're listening to Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio.
Well, there we go. Who did you pick for the opener? I did not hear.
Southpaw.
Oh, Southpaw.
Southpaw.
Another
That's not
Deco Entertainment
Yes, of
artist. That
course.
fits with tonight's theme here
See, I'm psychotic.
on Rock On Radio. You all right with that, Producer Claire?
I am. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out the sound that you can't hear.
Oh, well. Won't be the first time.
Ouch.
Whoa, it's a tough crowd.
Not because of you.
I can mute you.
Not because of you, but you know that occasionally we have trouble. When we
Yes.
have a large contingent, we have
That's
trouble with
true.
the headphones.
That's true.
See? You're
They're
trying
at
to
a
throw
pre-
me
well-
under the bus.
Well, because I give you the weird one. So yours goes not out of the star. Yours is off the board. And you only have one ear. So.
God forbid the host should hear anything. You know how
I
that
have the
works?
wrong ear. Well, I need mine.
You're a regular Van Gogh, aren't you?
As a radio show host, I'm
Van
treated as
Gogh
I am
radio.
a drummer. You know what I mean? Right?
That's right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rock On Radio live. Recorded live from the 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment, which is the first Deco thing. Then we have Southpaw, who are also Deco artists. And we have Deco artists calling the program in about 15, 20 minutes.
That's right.
They are called Something Strange. And then we
They
have...
fit right in.
That's correct. And then we have Deco artists in the studio.
Yes.
All Deco,
Who's
all
that?
the time. Shh, we can't tell anybody yet. No. But
A good-looking bunch, though.
that's right. And they brought pizza and root beer
And cookies.
and cookies.
Cookies.
Jill, you brought cookies. You could talk, Jill. We could let you. You're more than welcome. She's just laughing over
She
that.
found him down at the creek.
Nice. We can have Crick Fest.
We're at the crick.
We can have Crick Infestation. Nice. I like it. I already had one.
We thought any minute we're going to end up in a ditch, man. We're on Old Boar's Head Road. We ended up in the crick.
It was scary come back here, I'm saying.
It is. You're here in the hinterlands. Here in the hinterlands. Rock On Radio is brought to you by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill, located on Route 537 in Mount Holly, East Hampton, New Jersey. They are the official caterers of Rock On Radio. Only 6 months till the Christmas Spectacular.
Wow.
Keep that in mind.
We'll be there.
Right?
Wow.
Well, I
Yeah.
hope so.
Can't wait.
That's always a good time. Lillipie's of Princeton. They are in the Princeton Shopping Center, 301 North Harrison Street. Lillipie's Bakery has fantastic little hand grenades of happiness, and we eat them till we explode. We love Jen and her baked goods over there at Lillipie, so check them out, 301 North Harrison Street in Princeton, New Jersey. The Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Go to jsjbf.org. And if you haven't done so, purchase your tickets for June 27th at the Lauren K. Woods Theater, located on the campus of Monmouth University. Apparently, I am the MC for this event.
Yeah, how cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
And we're going to do a little podcast thing going on, right?
We got a Cal Schwartz podcast prior to that, we're told. We have lots of stuff coming up before June 27th.
That's
so
right, but be there. Or be square.
The Zemlarian requests our presence, so we shall be there.
And the blind squirrel.
That's right. Big A, Anthony Sherrod, is coming up from Clarksdale, Mississippi. Notice how I just put an A in there? Mississippi, not Mississippi.
No, I didn't notice.
No, okay, well, good. Now you notice. Mississippi, Clarksdale. Though he'll be coming up and bringing some of that fantastic Delta blues talent once again to Monmouth University on June 27th, 7:30 show, right? I think it is. No?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock show.
Doors open.
Doors open at 7:30. All right, just get there, people. I'm not, they want you.
It's
I
important
can't
to
be
know when the
exact
doors
with
are
this
open.
Stuff. You're drawing a blank.
Asbury Park Vibes. Go to asburyparkvibes.com. Doug and Diane have a staff of 15 photographers. If you're a band, a solo artist, a realtor, anybody who requires headshots, bios, press releases, or you want to be on a really cool podcast, go see Diane and Doug at asburyparkvibes.com, which is also the home of the Christmas Spectacular,
That's right.
which will be the 17th Christmas show, I believe,
Wow, yeah,
this
that's
year.
right. That's right.
So, man,
Time flies.
I'm old.
Time do fly.
I'm old,
Is that around Christmas?
Just around.
usually. Somewhere.
Unless we do it in July. So.
Christmas in
Yeah,
July.
I was thinking you're going to do a July Christmas.
We also hire out, not as a band, but we are elves. We have elf costumes.
Oh, fun.
So we could come down there and, serve platters of food, things like that.
Hot cider. Good,
From O'Connor's American Bar and Grill.
yeah. Good looking elves.
Yeah, telling you.
We're really big elves.
Yeah. That's the only drawback. We're quite large for elves.
Mark's like Will Ferrell back there. He's the tall one in the band. Okay. Now, Dee Dee's Lights. Dee Dee is the official chandler of Rock On Radio. She makes our candles and our things that go into our merch baskets that we give away for charity and so on and so forth. Check her out on Instagram at Dee Dee's Lights. DeeDeeLights. Dee Dee's Lights. New Jersey Stage magazine. Go to NewJerseyStage.com and check out all of the fine arts and entertainment information. If you're looking for anything in the Garden State that covers arts, entertainment, and beyond, go to NewJerseyStage.com. What's the matter?
Phoenix.
Oh, I thought you had something to say,
No.
but you did. I'm glad you did. Phoenix Art Supply and Framing. They are located on Route 611, otherwise known as Southeastern Road in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Love that place.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Jenny and Jenny Schaefer has been providing fine art supplies and framing for more than 40 years to the Delaware Valley area.
Yep. Cute little
Phoenix
place.
Art Supplies and Framing.
Socks.
Yes. Sinister Footwear. SinisterFW.com. Check them out. Some crazy, wild, out-of-control socks of all shapes, sizes, sporting events, movies, comedies, television shows, bands, anything you want. SinisterFW.com. Use the promo code DCR Socks. That's DCR Socks at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your entire order.
Did you write that down, Max?
That's right. SinisterFootwear.com. You guys could be
I'm
cool
a big
wearing
sock
these
guy.
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
love
great.
socks.
You got my attention
SinisterFW.com.
when you talk about socks, man.
Yeah.
Good.
I got your attention?
Oh, yeah. Socks.
Excellent. Well, what were you doing before that?
Oh,
The whole band is pro socks.
He was thinking about painting supplies.
Ah,
He wanted to buy a big jar of turpentine and start breathing it in.
that's
He was
understandable.
also thinking about framing someone.
Excellent. I love the way this band thinks.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way this band thinks. And we also have Tyndall Road Brewery, the official beer providers of Rock On Radio.
Have you gone and done your taste testing
No.
yet?
No, I haven't had time. I have been busy 7 days a week. Busy, 7 days a week.
Maybe we can stop there on the ride home.
If you're going,
Is it close?
It's in Burlington County, so you got to go in further south
Oh, it's way okay.
and
Yeah.
west.
Yes.
yeah, it's a little. That
It's
might be
in
a little too far
Bordentown.
for us.
Yeah.
But
It's
this-
located at 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown,
101.
or no, 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown, New Jersey.
Well, 101, 102. That's close enough.
Whatever
right?
it takes.
Yeah, you'll get there.
220, 221.
Bordentown?
I'll change it.
Bordentown.
I think Napoleon Bonaparte's brother had a house
Yes,
in
the,
Bordentown.
the Bonaparte
So did
Mansion.
Thomas Paine.
It's still there. Thomas Paine had a house in
Yeah.
Bordentown.
And all the
Interesting
spooks.
fact, Jim. Thank you.
What do you call it? I wrote a paper when I was in 5th grade on it. So
And you'll never forget that
and you'll
fact.
never forget it.
My friend Ed had a house down there too. Just a shout out to Ed.
I think Ed deserves
I did
credit.
not write a paper on
I don't know if he
Ed.
goes to the brewery.
Ed did not make the paper.
The funny thing is that Bonaparte was so paranoid that he had tunnels dug from under the mansion
Wow.
out to the Delaware River. And they have sealed most of them up, but supposedly or allegedly there are some they have not found yet. And if you go through Bordentown, which was actually a stop on the Underground Railroad, that you can see, like my nephew and his partner owned a pizza joint that they took an abandoned bank building and turned it into a pizza joint. And when you went down to the basement, underneath the vault, there was a tunnel. that
Awesome.
You walked maybe 15,
crazy.
20 feet into the tunnel, and then it was all bricked up. They wouldn't let you go any
Hey,
further.
you
But
know, if you got to smuggle people, that's what you need.
you need tunnels.
You
They
need
didn't
tunnels.
build any highways over that, did they? Because that would be like
No, not like Route 80.
not like Route 80 up by us.
Oh, yeah.
No.
You finally
what I was referencing.
It finally opened again.
Oh yeah.
It's not that open. I mean,
It's not. That's
No.
where we rehearse.
it's like 2 lanes.
Well, Tyndall Road Brewery, you have to go there and ask for Danny's pick, although I'm not sure what that is yet because I haven't gotten my rear end over there to pick it. But
I heard it's good.
it'll
pick it.
definitely be good. I can tell you
Whatever it
that
is.
right now. I can tell you that right now. Is that it, Claire? Did I get everybody?
Yeah, because we just had the Doylestown Music Fest yesterday.
That's right. Fantastic. So, how can they find out about us, Claire?
They go to dcror.com, which is the short link for Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com.
Facebook is Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2, the number 2. And Instagram is at Rock on Radio, all one word, all capital letters. So, that's that. And now it's time to introduce our guests.
Who?
No,
Who's that?
not the Who. Not the Who, not the Guess Who. Although the Guess Who were signed to Deco at one point, too. The latest
Did they really?
incarnation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. They were Deco artists.
Is that Burton Cummings?
But they...
Is that
Well,
Yes,
the
sir.
original was, yeah, but the latest thing, Cummings kind of walked away from a lot of
Oh,
things.
gotcha.
Remember my sponsor I just mentioned, Asbury Park Vibes?
Yeah. Sure.
They actually did a podcast with Burton Cummings. He was in the area and he stopped in.
Wow,
Yeah.
cool.
What
Sat
a
down
talent,
with him.
though. I mean, got to give it
Yeah,
to him.
great
Oh,
singer. I'm
I
sure.
don't know why he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That vocal is just, it had to be him and Paul Rogers.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, as much of a leadhead as I was growing up and still am, with Robert Plant, but those two guys, the incredible power in their voices were just amazing. Which brings us to our band. They're all here,
They are.
Yeah.
except for the guitar player.
Hail, hail.
We're missing Javier.
He flew back to Uruguay.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Intentionally or
No,
unintentionally?
he'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a show like next week. He better be back.
Let's hope he shows up. We have in studio Deco Entertainment artists, Our Marvelous Lives. Hello. It's us.
Ole.
And along with Our Marvelous Lives, they brought Jill.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Let's hear for Jill.
And then Jill. Woo! And Jill
Rock cookies.
brought cookies.
Oh, cookies.
And they showed up with pizza and soda. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always be prepared.
One of you
We needed
should've-
to survive.
One of you should have messaged me. I wouldn't have eaten.
That's right.
We didn't know we were going to do that until we were in the car, just hurtling over country roads, and we said, you know what? Either we should stop somewhere and get grab a suckling pig from one of these farms.
I thought you were
And
going to
it-
say we're going to stop for roadkill.
We're gonna stop along the road.
Strangely, I didn't.
I thought he was
I
gonna
didn't
say
see
that.
any. I didn't see any, which worried me.
That gets scooped up pretty quickly in these parts.
Well, with
Throw it over.
beef at $7.99 a chop meat at a pound, it's a bargain.
Throw a raccoon on the manifold.
Nice. All
Drive
right,
a few
gentlemen,
miles.
let's just go right around the table and introduce yourselves. Go
My
ahead.
name is Mike Fury, keyboard player.
Okay, and I'm Max Huber. I sing mostly, a primary singer, and play rhythm guitar.
Jim, and I am the bass player.
And I am Mark Sicardi, and I play the drums.
And where is he?
He's in the back on the
Yeah.
purple couch.
Yeah.
In
At
the
least he gets a nice,
comfy
gets
seat.
comfortable seat.
That's where I wanted to sit, Danny. I'm telling you, that was the seat right back there, and he took it from me.
Well, he was sitting in it when I was miking him up. So
I was.
I said, "You want to sit
He
here?"
claimed it.
I was eyeing that
Right
seat
place,
up.
Well,
right time.
Look,
Yeah.
Mike. You have to realize, as any drummer, and he'll tell you, right, Mark? And I know you'll agree with me because I am of your ilk. We have to get there half hour to an hour before you guys, and that's how we wind up with the prime seating in the back.
That is very true.
cushion
Right,
seat.
first to
Yeah.
arrive, last to leave.
Correct.
We, packing in and out of shows. I mean, as every band in the world knows, it's like that's a challenge. That's a big part of rock and roll, right? So I always say, in my next band, I'm going to be a harmonica player.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
piccolo.
I'm just going to show up with a
Your
little
little case
harmonica.
about the size of this laptop.
Oh yeah.
Where do I set up?
Did I ever tell you, my son came to me when he was about 10. He says, Dad, teach me how to play the drums. I said, no. And he says, no? You won't teach me? I said, I have 3 words for you. Play the harmonica. And he says, why? Why won't you teach me to play the drums? I said, because you got to get there an hour beforehand.
Yeah.
And then when the gig is done, your guitar playing buddies are going to be at the bar with the young ladies, and you're going to be sitting there tearing down drums.
That's right.
And if you dare take a break to go sit with the young ladies, the owner's going to be like, "Let's go, pal. I got to lock up." It's going to be 3:30 in the morning by the time you get out of there. So
Underappreciated, Danny.
correct.
Exactly.
Underappreciated.
That's
A lot of
right.
work.
Most important person in the band.
And then he
I'm just saying.
okay.
I'm just saying.
Say it again.
The drummer is the most important guy in the band. And if
Aside
it's a
from
lady drummer, she's important too.
aside from the sound guy,
Yeah, that's true.
your sound guy is in your band.
And he's transient,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
unless you use the same sound guy all the time.
Well, we use a lot of the same guys, but at different clubs who we know. But
Right.
That's a luxury we do.
but it's
not have yet.
sometimes you walk in and you get like you never know if you're going to get somebody his name is tone deaf, so you're like, oh,
Correct. There was a kid that used to 2 sound men I used to seem to run into over and over again. A guy at the Stone Pony named Tommy. Tommy. And ironically enough, the guy at the Saint in Asbury Park also
Great
named
place.
Tommy.
it's Tom. I wonder if it's Tom Crow. I don't think it is though.
Scott Stamper.
Scott Stamper
I
runs
remember
it.
him.
Stamper was the owner.
Yeah, the owner.
And
Yeah, we know Scott.
but Tommy, the sound guy, whenever he was working, if I had a gig there, I always knew it was going to be a good night.
Oh, that's good.
And he was always very consistent. Same thing with Tommy. Matter of fact, Tommy did our sound at the 15th anniversary party
he
at
did.
Salty's Beach Bar.
That's right.
So
And he focused on the drums. That's why he's cool. 'Cause-
not necessarily focused on them, but he made sure that the bass drum wasn't overpowering anything, that the overheads weren't washing
Too
out
washy.
the rack toms.
Yeah.
That's
so-
important
right?
because you get a lot of places. There's a lot of bottom. If you get like in the rock or metal clubs, you get a lot of bottom sometimes. And it's like the kick drum is like cannons, which sounds cool, but it kind of washes out a lot of stuff, like you said.
All right. Here we go.
I think our phone call is coming in here,
oh,
guys.
exciting.
I'm telling you.
I'm riveted.
Hello, welcome to Rock on Radio. Who is this?
Hey, Danny, this is Johnny with Something Strange.
Hey, Johnny, how are you?
I'm very well.
Fantastic. I have fellow deco artists in studio with me tonight. I've got our Marvelous Lives here as well. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey there, Daddy.
Hey, Johnny Hermano, man, we played with you at a bar in Jersey called Dingbats. I'm pretty sure.
Are you there?
Can you hear you? You may not.
I'm here.
Can you hear?
could
Can
you
you
hear
hear
us,
everybody or
Johnny?
no?
Yeah, I'm here. I have Alex on the line as well. He's the singer in Something Strange.
Oh, then it was a
Oh,
singer. Okay.
That's the guy.
How's it going? I spoke.
All right.
I guess I spoke with Alex at length outside. So it's good. It's strange how our paths cross again.
Do you have a cool mustache?
Awesome.
He does have a cool mustache.
Do you have? That's what we want to know. Do you have a cool mustache?
You know what? My wife and my kids love it. So
Oh, that's you then.
We do.
yeah,
Now, that
it's
was-
cool.
We approve.
John, now, do you think if you were like Samson and cut the mustache off, like he cut off his hair, that all your powers?
Yeah,
would-
man, that's it. I feel that.
Well, welcome to Rock on Radio, men.
Right on. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You are calling tonight because you're a deco artist and you've got some things going on, right? You have a new album called, is it Paradise?
Yeah, that's the new single
That's
that's
the
out.
single.
But
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
did come out with a new album called Parallel Worlds. Yeah, it's funny releasing albums. Singles seem the way to go, especially when you're trying to build a fan base. But we're eager to, compile as much music as as we're doing. We're releasing music every month, so
That's really what it is. Because
yeah.
we just keep writing music, and we're like, well, no sense in holding on to it.
That's right.
Yeah, it'll never leave the basement.
I know you got to.
Yeah, so where are you guys located? What's your base of operations?
Los
Los
Angeles.
Angeles.
Ah, so you're out in L.A. Are you there now?
We are.
That's a shame you're not here in the hinterlands at Deco Entertainment because we got cookies and pizza.
That's right.
These guys brought cookies and pizza.
Jersey pizza.
Jersey
Yes.
pizza, too. I got to
Good
have guests
Jersey
like
pizza.
that.
Oh my! Now you're making me jealous.
I'm telling you. So tell us about the band, man. How long you formed? How long have you been together? When did you form?
Gosh, 20. It's a COVID creation. We both were playing with other bands, and when it all stopped for everyone on the planet, we just decided, well, we don't have COVID. Let's get together and write some music.
Nice. And obviously that has worked out, right?
Oh man, it's magic. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex and I have a really good, it's just like magic when we get in the room and write together. And, he's really excited about music. And I take a different approach than he does, but we both bring something to the table that just continues every time we write a new song. It's like, it gets better and better and better and better. And I believe, we also collaborate too. We got this guy, Michael Caruso, that we work with. And, he's a crazy man with himself. But he brings it, and he's had some, pretty good success in the music world with songwriting. And he's an artist himself, but, he's just a killer writer. So, so this guy Richard that plays with us, he's a keyboard player. He told us right from the beginning, what's great about music is collaboration, and we were never against it. So, we just did a new song where I just had this idea of having, almost a duet in a sense. I mean, she's not in the band, but this Luna Black, and she sang on a song called Always Here that we have. She sang some background vocals, but this new idea was her to have a female vocal. What inspired me was Eminem and Rihanna. And I don't really listen to a lot of like hip hop music, nothing against it, but it just inspired me. I'm like, man, this could be really cool. Her voice, it's so innocent sounding. And with Alex, he's got such an interesting kind of operatic voice. And I was like, man, if we could get this like love story, them singing to each other in this song. And we accomplished it. And that one's coming out in July.
Nice.
Oh, wait, is it July? Yeah, I think that's July.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's next month that we'll be
Yeah.
we'll be seeing that. So
That song's called Painted Hearts.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Painted
called-
Hearts.
Yeah, Painted Hearts.
Okay. Now, am I to assume that the two of you are the principal songwriters in the band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And who else is in the group?
Well, we just, we love Richard. I call Richard our keyboard player, but he's he does his own thing. He works in music management. He he loves to play. He comes into the studio all the time and works alongside. But he does his own thing. So I don't know if there's a full commitment, but we treat him like he's a band member. And then right now we have Jesse as the drummer, and we're going out and doing a show in Kentucky coming up soon. So we just got that offer, so we're on the 28th. So we have a solid group, but it's we're kind of running the band, me and Alex.
All right.
Essentially, Johnny and I get in the studio and write all the music. That's really not wanting to just be control freaks, but more, we're the ones dedicated to it fully, in that respect. So that's how it is, really. You know how it is. The music industry, there's a lot of hired guns out there that are great, amazing players, but like one of my friends said, I play with a lot of bands, and I was like, yeah, you do, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, some people don't have the passion to like be in the band and do all this insane hard work that comes with being in a band. I mean, we're not in our 20s, you know what I mean? And I did it in my 20s. I know the difference. I knew how easy it was to get in a van and drive across the country, And now it's like, it's a lot more difficult, just is. But you got two guys that are pushing it and just continuously believing in it and funding it, and I think that's what, Charlie, we met him at, what was it? Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey. He saw us play. And, truthfully, when we had the meeting, it was like wow, a lot of the stuff he's saying just seems kind of like a family, right? And we were really excited after the Zoom call and after the phone call. We were super excited. Some people may look at it as just, there's so many distribution companies out there, but if you find a true family that helps each other out and sees the success and really, really helps, just even word of mouth like this. Hey, this is one of the bands that we work with. Could we get them on a radio show? This is awesome. It's such a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah, and Charlie and Bruce are both musicians themselves, so they get it.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean to leave Bruce out of it. Right. I think we spoke to him maybe once or twice in an email. But,
oh, don't worry, but we just threw Bruce out of here. Actually,
We threw him right out of the studio.
Threw him right out of his own house.
Yeah, but you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's hard. It's hard work. It's hard work to write songs in a way. Sometimes it just comes to you. You're in the shower or you're in the bathroom, literally, and it's like, I had a thought. And you put it together, but to finish a song takes work, and then to finish it. So you guys get it together amongst yourselves, and then it translates sometimes, I think, to a band easier because everybody knows kind of the parts that are expected. Everybody puts their spin on it. Like with us, I'll bring a song to the band, I'll say, hey, and then it just gets massaged by 4 other people. And, if it comes alive, then we keep it and we let it go, But it's a lot of work, being in a band. It's labor of love, absolutely.
And that van you were talking about and jumping across country? Well, I kind of have that same. I mean, I'm not a young man anymore or either, but producer Claire keeps giving me this backwards white jacket and trying to shove me in a van with a red cross on it after every radio show. Yet I fight her tooth and nail, and here I am again for another week.
She's trying to get you to a happy place. That's all.
I just want you to hug yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah, hug myself. You want to get me to a happy place? Bring me a 5th of Jack and these cookies. That's what I'm talking about right there.
To be honest with you, in the studio, I personally spend a lot of hours, in the studio. And, Alex, he's, if he comes by with that voice, I mean, again, we work together producing this stuff, but he knows I spend a lot of time in that studio. And I'm going to tell you, the scariest moment is playing it live. Really, because, me being like a perfectionist, I can say that that's probably the scariest time, is trying to get it together so that it is like the record, but still live, but like the record, and I could critique that so many ways. So be like nerding out in front of the computer screen. I do that all day long.
That is Johnny's MO.
Yep.
He lets me be the wild and crazy mad scientist. When he goes in there and completely mad scientist the song.
You do that, Mike?
Yeah, you guys pulled it off live at Dingbats, and we were there. We were there for that show.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Because we played with you.
Thank you so much.
They were on the same bill as you.
We were on the same bill.
Oh, were you guys the band that played? You had a keyboard player too, right?
That's me, man.
Yeah. He's really weird.
Right on. That's so cool. Man.
Yeah, and if you could pull it off live and at a metal club like Dingbats, Because that's like metal. Like you're in Jersey, man. You're in like the heart of metal land.
Oh, I know. I grew up in Philly, but my family lives in Maple Shade, New Jersey.
There you
So
go.
like southern Jersey.
South
Yeah.
Jersey.
That's
That's
South
right.
Jersey, right?
We were just talking about Bordentown because my beer sponsor is in Bordentown.
Oh man,
Oh, that's awesome.
See?
I grew up over there. My dad was in a band called Black Eyed Susan. I don't know if you remember that band from the '80s. The singer was Dean Davidson from Britney Fox.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Brittany Fox, I remember.
Yeah, and so like I grew up watching all like Mike LeCompte and all these guys that Mike LeCompte now is pretty popular.
He's still
Like-
playing, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's really popular in the whole area, the whole tri-state area. Anyway, I mean, I grew up in that, so it was inevitable that I wasn't going to get into music, and then I moved out to California when I was 24, and I didn't meet Alex until 10 years ago, right, Alex?
Something like that, yeah.
So I was
And we were both doing different things, completely different. But the love of music is there,
No, but Alex, you had such inspiration of like 80s new wave thing, and you may not even knew that you had that. I mean, you obviously were a fan of Bowie, but like you were doing blues stuff, which he brings in a different element into the band, which is great because that makes us different. It makes us stand out. But I always wanted to do like 80s style new wave music, not like super new wave, but always a fan of U2 and stuff like that. I wasn't really a big fan of like heavy guitars, even though I'm a guitar player. But again, I mean, we try to do everything, in this group, and we try not to hold back.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to play a tune, and I'm going to let you go because I got to get to our marvelous lives here, who have been very patient with us in studio.
It's good to hear from. It's good to hear. It's a little, like I said, it's a blast from the past. I remember, talking to Alex outside the club, him and his wife, and they're super genuine people and a great band. We really enjoyed your performance, and we've done. Yeah.
Oh man, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, and we did a lot of shows at that club. So
Yeah. And you guys pulled it off.
Yeah.
Well, when do we get to come back and play again?
That's
yeah.
it. We got to come
Just-
back and
just-
play again with you.
Just reach out. We'll book you there again.
Awesome.
There you go. Websites and everything for you guys?
Oh yeah, it's somethingstrange.com, and same on social media. Everything's pretty much Something Strange, but it's spelled SUMTHING. Something.
And of course, your music can be found here on decoentertainment.com.
Right on.
Correct? Okay. Thought I lost you there for
that
a
was
minute.
a question.
Welcome to the team. All right.
Yes, correct. So, all right. Well, we're going to play. What song do we have, Claire?
Paradise.
Paradise, the single.
Awesome.
We're going to play
Oh,
that.
let's check it out.
And I will talk to Charlie, and hopefully we can talk to you guys again, or the next time you're on the East Coast, we'll get you in here.
Killer. Thank you.
That'd be awesome. Thank
All
you
right,
so
guys.
much, brother.
Well, rock on, my friends.
Rock on.
Likewise.
All right.
There you go.
Yep.
Here's Something Strange with a song called
Paradise.
What if I never knew the extraordinary feeling I get with you? What if I only knew the loneliness and angst I felt before I met you? And our faith has made us stronger. Two hearts in love, know the only time is now. We're living in paradise. Just open up your eyes. We're living in paradise. It's all yours, so don't let go. Though our hearts
There you have it. Deco entertainment artist Something Strange here on Rock On Radio, where our guests this evening are our marvelous lives. We have Mike, Max, Jim, and Mark here with us, and we have Jill. Now, Jill, why do you keep doing that? What?
She plays tambourine.
She doesn't want to talk.
She's shy. She only calls promoters.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well,
She also plays the kazoo.
do we have a mic for Mark back there? Because he talked. I didn't hear anything. Can you hear me now? Nope. I cannot.
Hello.
Hey, Mark, do you have anything intelligent
we
to
go.
say?
Go ahead, Mark. Try it now.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Perfect. See? Now, this is, look, Jill, we just met, right?
Yeah.
We talked on the phone twice. Okay? So, our relationship is just beginning, right? You brought me cookies.
It's only just begun.
Which means now I have to,
Eat them all.
I have this relationship with Jen at Lillipie's, but she just keeps continually telling me she's married, so I have to stay away from her,
Yeah.
right? But now, I don't know you, but if you're going to do this to me, I'm going to have to ask you to marry me as well. Eventually. I'm just telling you. But
she's on tour with
You
us.
can always
though.
say no.
before you can say no, we'll just add you to the list.
Yeah.
But before I and this is all the further my relationship is with
Okay.
Jill, 2 phone calls and cookies.
Right.
But I've said something to her twice since she's been here, and both times she rolled her eyes and just kind of shook her head. So I don't know if that means no, shut up, leave me alone, or I ain't doing that. So
Or all the above.
Danny, she does that to us, too.
really? Well, I understand because you're a band, and she's like kind of
yes.
supposed to make sure you're where you're supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she
You're
yells
their
at us a lot.
manager, Jill?
Yes.
I would
she
say,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of
course she is.
She's
Yeah, go ahead. Go sit at the mic.
Yeah. Visit the mic.
That's
Yes,
right.
please.
Go on to the mic. You have a lot more interesting things to say than us, Jill.
Yes, we want to know. We're going to start from the ground
Yeah,
up
let's
with
let's,
you guys
let's talk
here.
to Jill first.
And we're going to talk about the woman responsible for you being where you're supposed to be.
That's right. Jill has a big music history, actually. And she
You
can
do?
tell you about it. Yeah.
Talk to us, Jill.
I don't know what he's talking about. Well, no, many years ago, many years ago, I interned at like 92.3 K-Rock in the city. I was an intern at Mercury Records, Concrete Marketing. And then I eventually found my way out to the Chicago area, and I did radio marketing and promotion for Victory Records, which
Okay.
is a hardcore record label. Did that for many years, and then sort of left the profession, but still loved it so much, and became a teacher. I don't know what else you want to know.
Okay.
And then I met these guys.
And how did you meet these gentlemen?
At a show. A mutual friend of ours, Wendy, who is also a DJ at a couple of radio stations. I went to the show with her and met them, and it kind of all
It all meshed?
It all meshed. Yeah, it was a good collaboration.
Yeah, you talked about that, right?
Collaboration is it kind of, she told us something that really, it makes you feel good. She goes, and this is an opinion, because there's all kinds of music out there from, you name it. She goes, you guys are too good to be playing in the basement. And I was like, that was like one of the best things that I'd ever heard, I mean, we know we can play. I mean, we pretty much sing in key, all
In
the
a basement.
but we have rehearsal spaces. I mean, we played a lot. We've been playing for years. I mean, we haven't gotten into it, but I mean, we're the opening band for, like, you name it. We've opened for the Ramones, Joan Jett, Little Steven, Sponge. We played with the
Sponge.
Smithereens a couple times.
Gene Loves Jezebel.
Gene Loves
twice.
Jezebel.
And we're playing with the Reverend Horton Heat next week at Artie's.
Yeah, we played
okay.
last.
You played with it when I interviewed
We
you
played
guys.
with a year ago, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a year ago.
Was it
I
a
just
year?
talked to you a couple months ago.
Well, you played
Well,
with them on June 1st, so last summer,
Yeah,
and it
we
was a
played with
sold-out
them.
show, and it was such a great show that the promoter asked for them to open again this year.
At Artie's right down the
Yes,
road here.
at
Yes,
Artie's.
Artie's,
Frenchtown.
Frenchtown. Great outdoor stage. The sound is really good. There you go, sound guy.
It's a hidden. That place is a hidden gem.
Oh,
Food
yeah.
is good. Beer's good. The music's good. You can't
Oh
go
yeah,
wrong.
you can't go wrong. This is good play. June 14th, we're playing with them. Right?
Artie should be one of your sponsors. Let's work.
Oh
on
yes,
that.
let's work on that,
Tell
Artie.
him,
Let's
Jill,
work on
I'll
that.
put you in charge of
That's
that. Radio marketing.
That's right.
You
So
have
anyway,
a background.
so we Jill took that history and she ran with it. So she she calls all the people and she sets a lot of stuff up and makes sure that we show up when we're supposed to be there.
Yep.
Now, let me tell you, gentlemen, something. I've dealt with a lot of people on this program. How many do we figure is over 750 different acts that have been through here?
At
right?
least,
Or
yeah,
close
over
to
16
that,
years.
16 plus years, right?
And we're the best looking one.
Yes,
I was-
I
I
would-
was-
let's-
I'm trying to
go ahead,
surprise
Dan.
you, and you just
Go
keep
ahead. I'm sorry,
throwing-
Dan. It's all yours.
Spoiler alert.
He really wants to hear you say that to him.
I will. I will get there at some point through the evening.
It's
I will get
important,
there. But I've dealt with a lot of acts, and one of the things that Claren, often basically is fighting. I know she wants to tell me just to shut my mouth and quit whining like a schoolgirl, and she doesn't. But one of the things I complain about is that I have a lot of bands. I never had a lot of bands until recently who have backed out on me at the last second. And it still hasn't been a lot. It's been maybe a dozen over 16 years, of which probably 10 of them have come in the last 3 years. Ever since we moved out here, people I guess they look at it on the map and they're like, oh, I ain't going there. And they call me like the day of,
Right.
But I have never, in all the years I've done this, had a band's representative as on top of things as Jill is with you guys.
Yep.
So
Well.
That's brilliantly said. Brilliantly said.
Really,
it is. I mean, she's. I don't know. I got about 15 emails and phone calls and they're not the annoying kind. Like, are you sure? Or are we still good? No, she's asking legitimate questions, and when I asked questions, she gave me legitimate answers. And if she didn't know, she said, "Let me check." So it is always good to have somebody like a Jill in your corner. I have a Claire, who everybody knows is the brains and the brawn and the one who runs this operation. I used to be, but I kind of gave it up 7 or 8 years ago.
Now you're just a pretty face. I mean,
You are a pretty face, Danny. That's right.
I'm not
as pretty as you guys.
There you go.
Now we're getting somewhere, Danny.
But yeah,
We're getting somewhere.
and I say that, and I'm not just sucking up to you, Jill, because you brought me cookies. I'm just saying that because that's fantastic. You know what? Good for you, and you
Yeah.
guys are lucky that.
Oh, no, we're very
because
fortunate.
it's a difficult thing, Like, I mean, not saying, oh yeah, we're the artists. You write all the music, you do the stuff, and you hear it. I like the music, and my mom likes the band, but she doesn't call any promoters, So it's like
If she did, that would
she
be
did,
awesome.
we'd be in. She'd be like,
My son.
my son really needs to calm down. She's got
I
a
think
German
we'd be
accent.
playing in Berlin.
You need to hire them
my mom
because-
has a lot of free time on her hands. You're giving me some ideas.
She's retired.
Oh my God, she's awesome. Mark's mom is the best.
Yeah,
we're playing her 90th birthday party next year.
Yeah. Nice.
She came to see us at Factory Records, and she's like, you are playing my 90th. Of course we're playing
Yeah.
the 90th.
Yeah.
I don't care when it is.
I mean,
will be there.
She was doing shots with us afterwards. I had to
Yeah.
stop. I said, I can't take it. I can't take it.
She's trouble.
drank me right under the table.
It will be one of the few shows where they tell us to turn up because they're all hard of hearing there.
Right.
Nice.
It's gonna be awesome.
Perfect audience.
Yes.
So Jill, is it hard to work with these gentlemen because they are pretty much they are the lighthearted group?
No, I think one of the things that makes it easy and fun is I think we all share very similar personalities. We vibe. They're professional. They're great people, and
They take direction well.
they take direction.
We try.
They listen to me. They
We're
do
house
what
trained.
I tell them to do. They're house broken.
No, we just had another conversation on the way down, and she's like, now, listen, right on your set list that you have to say, go to Linktree, go to our website, go do this, make sure people know who you are. Say the name of the band.
She's saying this on the way down here. She's like, we're going to next show. You have to have it, on it.
I'll
on
make
your
a
set
list.
And in between the songs, you have to talk about like Instagram and Facebook, and you have to mention this. And it's like,
Hashtag our marvelous lives.
yeah.
Well, that's all important. Really, it's about, you don't get a lot of radio time today because there's a lot of radio stations don't really do much with, like, say, local bands, and there's no succession plan for music. I mean, there's any given time in the country, there's probably 50 stations playing George Thorogood, who, has been around for 50 years. And nothing to slight that band. I mean, great band, but, like, there's so many bands. You go on YouTube, you go down the rabbit hole looking at bands. It's like, these guys are great. The Lemon Twigs. I just found out about those guys. I mean, they've been making records since 2009, but you've never heard them on the radio.
No.
So, like, I think that's a problem with
That's
music.
because there's various tiers. Like when I was a kid, the underground bands were like Rush. You never heard Rush on the radio until Permanent Waves came out.
Right. It's true.
They never got the airplay, yet they're selling out 20,000 seat Wells Fargo Center in Philly, the Meadowlands, whatever it was called, Brendan Byrne Arena at the time. They're selling it out, but they're not getting any airplay. Today, maybe not today, but over the last 10 years, it was Flogging Molly. You never hear Flogging Molly on the radio. If it wasn't for
Huge band.
If it wasn't for that movie P.S. I Love You, nobody would understand. If I ever leave this world alive, they wouldn't know what that song is.
Awesome.
But I've been listening to Flogging Molly for 20 years, but yet they never get any airplay. So there's that tier where it's kind of a mess, and you have success, but not a lot. How many Rushes and Flogging Mollys and Lemon Twigs are there? Those bands are out there, but how many have the success that those groups had? Then there are the bands that the promoters want to push, or the record companies, or whoever, and most of them are on pop radio, and they tend to all sound the same. So,
yeah, and you sometimes you wonder how valid, am I valid? Is the music valid? Is what we're doing? Because you look at a lot of the stuff, Billie Eilish and Sabrina and even Paramore. They're older now, but you know what I mean. It's like. We're more closer to Paramore than Billie Eilish. You know what I mean? So
how long you guys been together?
Well, I will tell you.
He will admit. We'll admit to this. We'll admit to this.
Yeah, because it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if any band's done it like this. I mean, Jim, myself, and the original drummer, Dave Bollard, who's a doctor now up in North Jersey, we got together in '84.
No, '83.
'83. When you were working at Pete's Golf.
That's right.
He was working at a gas station.
I was a petroleum transfer engineer.
He come to rehearsal in overalls that smelled like diesel fuel. So we just stand next to him and breathe it in.
That's what inspired us to write music.
Transfer engineer. I
it
like
was a
it.
cheap
That was
high.
1983. We put out an EP in 1984. And we did a cover of The Rain, the Park, and Other Things by the Cowsills. And it got a lot of college airplay.
The Cowsills. I don't know many bands that cover Cowsills material.
Well, the singer.
They did. It wasn't me.
No,
they did.
Mike came in probably like 80 into 85 sometime at that point because we were looking for another level. Like we always like keyboards. I like Deep Purple and I love those keyboards. As a rock band, I said because I kind of I'm a mountain kind of guitar player. I mean I love that kind of melodic power monster rock. But Mike came, I said, well, the keyboards adds another complexity to what we're doing.
Yeah, we were a band called Maximum America, and that band.
I remember you telling me this.
Yes,
yeah.
and that band existed for. It was a good 10.
90.
Yeah, that was till like a good 10 years probably.
Yeah.
And we recorded down in Tennessee. We recorded in Wayne, New Jersey.
Yeah, Barge Sound Studio.
Yeah,
we
we
recorded
did
Don Sternecker.
In Booton,
Mixolydian Studios. Don's done a ton of stuff with, he worked with the Brandos. He did a lot of work.
Yeah. Then we became Our Savage Garden. Ooh. And then Savage Garden, the band Savage Garden from Australia.
Band.
Yeah, they kind of stole our logo and things like that, and we didn't. So we had to change the name. Yeah. So we got into a little, I think
a legal tiff,
a legal thing,
which we can't talk about. But we walked away from it with a smile.
Yeah, we did.
because we actually, since we put records out under our Savage Garden, we had the copyright for that in this country, not internationally.
Yeah. So we went to the studio and recorded with James Mastro from the Bongos. I don't know if you remember a band called the Bongos from Hoboken.
Oh yeah.
And we put out an album with him, and that was probably as we switched names to Our Marvelous Lives. So we went from Maximum America to Our Savage Garden to Our Marvelous Lives, and we were a cover band too. You want to know what our name of our cover band was?
Yeah.
No, don't say it, Mike.
You've gotten
Jill's
the-
back there giving us hands like she's landing
Don't
jets at
say
an
it.
airport.
Don't say it.
No, we don't want to offend any of the sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's my job.
and you do it really well.
We're
Thank you
usually
very
naughty, but we're not going to offend anyone.
Yeah. So
No.
we're not going to do that. And so we became Our Marvelous Lives, and here we are today.
because our lives are so marvelous. It just kind of makes sense.
I know. I was going to ask about that when we come back, but we're going to play some music now.
Yeah, let's do that.
Go ahead.
You sent me a whole bunch of music.
I did.
So which one would you like?
Pick one.
My lovely assistant and producer, Claire.
Do you like the
to,
titles? They're all love songs, Claire. So.
We'll let you pick it,
Tiny?
Claire.
Oh,
Tiny.
You know that I'm gonna
that's
tell-
a love
Tiny
song.
Happy.
It's called.
That's-
I'll
play that
explain-
one.
Let me explain that. That's called Tiny Happy Song, only because we never had a working title. I mean, that was
No,
a working
that was
title.
the working
We
title.
never had an actual title, but the song is short relatively, and it's short and it's happy.
Tiny.
So ergo,
Tiny.
Happy Song.
Hey,
But
what
this
would
is
you
the most
name the
radio
song if
friendly.
you
I
had to
love this
change it?
What?
What would you name the song if you had to change
The
it?
Happy Tiny song.
You think about it while we're on break, Max.
Happy
Our
Tiny
marvelous lives here on Rock On Radio.
with Tiny.
I should have known when the rainbows turn to gray, and every single day was like the last. When evening came to town and washed the light away, I'd always hoped that things would turn around. Love's the only gift that we can give. Love's the only reason that we live.
Our Marvelous Lives with Tiny Happy
Song. Tiny happy song.
Here on Rock On Radio.
I had mentioned to Claire, as that was running, that we'd been rehearsing that a little bit, and the guitar player Hav, he just made one pass on that solo in the studio, and Chris Gibson, who was the engineer who brought all this stuff out from Hoboken to our rehearsal bunker in Dover, New Jersey. So Chris Gibson,
also known as Gibby.
He's Upstart Studios on Washington Street in
I remember
Hoboken.
you telling me you recorded this
Yes.
in the bunker,
Yeah.
right?
In the bunker.
Well-
and mixed it in his studio in Hoboken.
Yeah. Much better for one person to travel than have 5 guys travel.
Travel down to Hoboken and
Right.
park.
Yeah, there's no parking.
And then carry like all your equipment up 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool studio and great sounds. But like today, they record. I mean, they always did. They always did on location recording. I mean, the Stones did, Zeppelin did. So we can, I guess.
So our Marvelous Live should.
Sure. So anyway, he did the song. He played the solo, and then that was it. I wouldn't let him do any overdubs. I just said, "You're done now."
And I remember him saying to you, "No, I can do it better, man.
No, I can do it better."
I go,
No,
"No,
you
you're
can't."
not doing it better. That's it. That's it." So
Are you-
and he's
Plus,
brilliant.
we're on a budget.
Are you guys familiar with Eliza Niels, the blues artist?
No.
All right,
I'm sorry.
She's from Detroit originally, but currently, because she does a lot of work in New York City, she lives in Jersey City.
Okay.
And she brought in, the guitar player, and I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. For what? To do a solo
Okay.
on one of her records. And he comes in, and they're like, okay, let's see, let's check your levels type of deal. So he starts playing, and they let the song go. And at the end of the song, Eliza's like, that's perfect. I don't want nothing else. She's like, all right, you're done. And he's like, what? I was just checking my level. She's like, no, that's it. That's perfect. And he's like, wow. He goes, I was there 15 minutes. I was out.
Sometimes your first thoughts, the first things that come to you, a lot, because we like Something Strange. They do a lot of work in the studio, as do we, and sometimes the first I come out with a song, or one of the other guys brings a song, and we play a couple passes at first, and we record them, just to hear them, and sometimes those early takes you have to go back to them because they were the best ones. Because when you start thinking about it now, you're not playing the sort of accents in the right spots, and you're kind of thinking about it too much, and let's keep everything on the beat. It gets too tight. You want a little bit of looseness, so it's breathing room.
I did that. We did that in a previous record. I brought a saxophone player in. We do not have a saxophone player, but we decided to do this one thing. And he did a song, and it was that was cool. And then I go, why don't you try this one? And then he does it. He's warming up. He gets done with it, and I'm like, that's cool, man. He goes, what do you mean? I go, that's it. That's perfect. He goes, I was just practicing. I go, no.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect, and that was perfect. So that ended up Max took it, mixed it. He mixed it into the song, and
Mike didn't
even
even play the song. He just made the guy play the sax for 10 minutes, and we just cut the
He
piece.
never heard the song.
Well, I have.
That's
not
true.
I have one quick question, and then I want to get to Mark.
Yeah, we can talk
Okay.
about Mark a little bit.
because he's being nice and quiet, like all drummers back there.
That's right.
He's a wild man. Don't let that fool you.
Uh-oh.
But I really only have one question to ask of you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking this of you
Yes.
because I'm afraid she'll just totally shut me off if I ask of Jill again. But do you really have instructions in front of you written on the back of a paper plate?
What did we talk about, Danny, about Jill? She's the glue that keeps us together. We could have Mark read this, because there's a lot of notes on the back of a plate. And it says a show on 6/14. This is next week. You can Venmo at Jill1 for tickets. Is that what that means? Our website is Our Marvelous Lives, wixsite.com /our-marvelous-lives. YouTube. We have a YouTube channel.
We do.
And what else do we have, Mark?
That was a question and a statement.
Do you have anything else?
Whoa! Yes,
Thank you.
Frisbee. There you go.
We have a used car lot on Route 22.
So, Mark, tell us a little bit about you, man. How'd you meet these guys?
I go.
Try to get it in before Jill smacks the daylights out of him with that paper plate. Wait.
I go way back to Wayne with these guys because I grew up in Wayne, and I worked at a record store next to Max's Deli where Max worked. So I had known Max through mutual friends for a long time, and we were friends. And I was a fan of the band for a long time, and then I eventually wound up playing with them in the late '90s.
Yeah. So you like the kind of music that?
I do, and
prior to joining the band, did you favor that kind of their kind?
Yeah,
of
no, it was weird for me because I loved these guys, and I was like, they're asking me to play drums for them. I was kind of taken aback by it, but yeah, no, it was awesome. And there's a line in from the movie Chinatown that John Huston's character has and he says, politicians, old buildings, and whores all get respectable if they last long enough, and I kind of feel like that's a good sentiment for the band because I think
Word.
we've gotten to that point where we're respectable.
So we're old buildings.
Oh my God, that was so cool what he just said.
We could pack up.
That's a
because
mic
the
drop
best.
moment. Yeah, you guys can leave
That's
now
the
if you
best.
want.
That'll be the best
Claire
line
and
of the
I'll
night.
just play everything you got left in the.
Hold on a second, though. What do you call? So Mark played with us in the '90s, but then he moved to San Diego.
I did.
Became famous.
You played. What kind of band did you play? In a ska band, right?
Yeah.
I played in a reggae band in San Diego.
Yeah.
And they were famous.
They did like
No,
huge shows.
we were not
famous.
famous.
They were pretty good.
Who were you
You
with?
guys played like Guadalajara, right?
We did play in Mexico.
Yeah.
What band?
I was in a band called Crucial. And we wound up opening up for like 90% of the reggae acts that came through town. Reggae's huge in San Diego, so
Right.
it was a good place to be. At
Were
the
you
time.
reggae or ska? Which
No,
one?
we were
Or
we were-
combo?
We were reggae.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then he came back.
Yeah, he
then he came
but
back.
We had a drummer, but unfortunately, our last drummer, whose name was Mark as well, but spelled with a K, he passed away from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And then, we had Mark submit his medical records, and then we let him join the band.
His mother's almost 90.
had
There's a rigorous background check.
Rigorous
yeah.
background check on him.
Like Spinal Tap, we've had several drummers.
Yeah.
Several of them exploded.
Yeah. 7 or 8
We've
of
had a
them.
bunch. The
7 or
original.
8.
A lot of guys come and go. Life gets in the way. It's like longevity.
Yeah.
Like what Jim was talking about, or Mark brought up. People are like, "Wow, you guys do this a lot. You've been doing it for a long time."
and
I go, "Yeah,
Danny-
and we're not really going to stop."
Right.
Yeah.
And if you hang out
Why?
long enough with this, Danny, you might be playing drums with us. So
Hey,
We figure we get famous by attrition. We're just going to outlast everybody.
excellent.
he's a keeper. Mark's a keeper.
Yeah, we like him.
Oh, yeah,
Mark's
he's awesome.
great.
All right. Well, look how well behaved he is back there.
That's right.
You know, he gladly when Jill sat down, he shoved the microphone over there at her. He shared willingly.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, do I have to tell all your stories? So also, Mark, he is the drummer for another band called
The Ratchets.
The Ratchets.
Ooh.
We just played. Mark did double duty down in Hoboken. He played with us for like an hour and 15 minutes, and played with the Ratchets for an hour and 15, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, and they're
closed
heavy.
out the night.
Yeah, they're a heavy band.
Yeah, they are awesome. So
His arms were like linguinis when he was done.
yeah, he was he burned a lot of calories. I think
That's
his
right.
watch said he burned like 5,000 calories.
That's how I stay slim.
Yeah, he's good. He's a hard worker.
What kind of drum kit do you have? Because I play the drums and I don't stay slim. I want to make sure it's not the drums.
I use a Yamaha Maple Custom drum set.
Ah, so it's a Japanese set.
Yes.
I see.
So you can only eat sushi.
That's right.
And play
It's
the
a
drums.
sushi set. Nice. See that? How many piece?
5.
5 piece? Excellent.
He gets plenty of sound out of those drums. He's a thumper.
Yeah.
I don't need. As I've gotten old.
60-inch bass drum.
Ooh.
No, I just made that up. But
That'll be about the size of that couch. As I've gotten older, I don't even bring a second rack tom with me anymore. I go with the old Ringo setup.
Sometimes,
you know?
sometimes I do the same.
And especially since most of the places I play these days are small, then I can stick the ride cymbal right over that right side between the floor tom and the bass.
Less is
the
less,
bass drum.
yeah.
Correct. So
It's a lot of, like you said, packing for the drums. I mean, Mark's got to be lugging the wheelie case all over the place. Hoboken, we play there, and it's a tough place. It's hard to park, and you got to carry everything in through. And I mean, the place is great. We play at Finnegan's a lot. A lot of younger people who really have resonated with the band. That has been a cool.
That's
thing, too.
interesting.
That's a cool thing.
25,
Yeah.
27-year-old people are like, the phones are up all the time.
Yeah, they're digging live music again. It's a strange vibe.
have you ever played at Dobbs in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah, we played JC Dobbs.
JC Dobbs? Yeah, we played there.
Remember that load-in? You had to go through the kitchen
Oh, yeah.
of the other restaurant to get to Dobbs?
JC
I don't
Dobbs.
remember that as well.
Oh, I do. I remember
JC
that.
Dobbs, yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't played there.
They had parked on that little side street that was as wide as my Chevy pickup because the tires are rubbing on each side of one side of the street and on the curb on the other. And they're like, "Oh, you got to go through that door." And I'm in the kitchen, and I'm like, "Is this Dobbs?" No, you got to go through that door, and that's Dobbs. And I'm like, "Well, thinking, where am I now?"
It's like Spinal Tap. You're like walking around a building.
Exactly. Let's do some more music, man. What do we want to? What do we want to air?
How's My Devil? There's
My
no profanity in that, right?
There's no profanity.
That's kind of an out there song. That may be a love song too, but that's a little on the heavier side. Something that Hav came up with.
Yes, it was Javier original. He's a heavy guitar player. And you'll see that he plays a little different than Max, and he's got a nice flavor to his guitar playing, and he brought that to he left us for a while and came back to us, and then he brought some stuff back when he started. It was like, whoa, where'd you come up with this, Av? And it's very heavy. It's cool.
He didn't go to the Crossroads, did he?
I think he did.
Might have.
He might have gone
Might
down.
be where that
Sold
song
to the
came
devil?
from.
I'm not talking about the one in North Jersey.
My Devil.
We've
Oh, that's
been-
right.
We've been to the Crossroads.
We played there.
Yeah.
The Crossroads.
Oh, Crossroads in
Garwood.
Garwood.
Yeah.
Garwood,
No,
yeah.
we went to.
We
the
actually went to the actual
Crossroads
Crossroads
in Mississippi.
in Mississippi. Interesting.
Okay.
It's very
Frightening.
interesting.
It must have been frightening, right?
It was just an
scary,
old
right?
dirt road.
That's
It's
all it is.
big,
jeez.
wide dirt, brown.
I'll
dirt.
talk about it a little bit once we air this tune here. What's this
It's
called?
called My Devil.
My Devil. Our Marvelous Lives here on Rock On Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the depths of hell come our marvelous lives. Time's a chainsaw that cuts you down. It throws you an anchor to help you drown. There's a monster calling, and I like his style. While heaven sees me cry, my devil smiles. Oh yeah, no angels above me. Just below my devil. My whole life has shown me my devil. Wow. The straight and narrow tells us to walk the line. But to have some fun, you gotta fall sometime. The howl that calls you's just a taste away. When our angels sleep, that's when our demons play. Oh yeah! No angels above me. Just below my devil. My whole life has sold me. My devil.
go. Our Marvelous Lives here on Rock On Radio. I think, Jill, you calling the cops on me? You sure?
Call the cops.
You know, she's moved quite a distance away and she's plugged her phone in.
That's the cookie thief right there.
Yeah. He's been known to steal cookies from bridal showers. So, tell me about, the band itself, the functionality of the band. Who does most of the songwriting?
That would be Max.
Max.
Musically, I'd say musically we all write music.
Yeah.
Like musically, everyone brings music to the whole thing, and then Max writes all the lyrics. He's the lyricist. He's the brilliant lyricist.
You know, but we all get to write our own parts. Like, you know, they're not too meddling, so I get to write my own bass parts. Mike writes his own keyboard parts. We just got to remember what the right chords are. Once we do that, it's all downhill.
It's all downhill from there.
Yeah, it's uphill from there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks about it, or they hear something and they go, yeah, I like that, or, maybe try this, or I don't like that so much. You know, you have to kind of be real. Like if, you hear something, and Mike will be the first guy, on top of you, and you say, Jim, so because people out there are not looking.
Or you.
It's like, or you. Like, if something bugs you, it's okay to say that. It's I don't like that. It sounds like, this song sounds like the Captain Crunch commercial, or something. And
Right.
It's just not that good. So,
Especially when we do our singing parts, because me and Jim and Max do most of the singing. So, and we do a lot of harmonizing, singing, and we do get on each other. It's like, you sound like that was like goats and
the goat
field.
men, the goat men of New Jersey.
And you go, was that very goat-like, Max? Yes, it was very goat-like.
Yeah, there's
with
nothing more
goats.
humbling than going in the studio and then doing individual tracks or doing harmonies, and then you go in there and you think, it's headphones, a lot of delay, everything sounds great, and then you go in and you listen to it, and it's like it's like croaking frogs. So you go, okay, well that's got to go.
So we work a lot on singing together, writing vocal harmonies, parts, passages. But he's really the one that puts it all together. He writes great lyrics, and we sing them.
Right, and we have a pretty good rehearsal schedule with having 5 guys show up. So the last album called Five Amigo Lockdown, that's when we all make it to rehearsal.
Yeah,
And that's,
there's something behind
it.
that.
Happens a lot.
You got to
believe it
get
or not.
together on a regular basis,
Yeah.
or it just that's the death knell to me.
Right.
And somebody was just talking about that, and it was
Yeah.
somebody like famous on the radio, and I can't recall who. I'm sorry, but they're saying that the most important thing. It was like a webinar thing, and they go go to do regular practices. You get to practice and rehearse, play. Playing is like interacting.
Right.
Collaborating
week, without fail. We're rehearsing every Wednesday.
And that's the story behind the name of the album is Five Amigo Lockdown, because that's how we came up with it. It was like we're 5 amigos and we're locking down once a week, regularly. We hardly ever miss a week.
Yeah.
And for a band, I think that's kind
Only
of
for
amazing.
medical
That's exceptional.
purposes.
Well, how long you been together? 20-some
Well,
years?
Jim, like I said, Jim and
42.
I,
42 years. me and
42
you.
years. Yeah, we started young. We were young.
41 for
I was
Mike.
8. You were 6.
Yeah, I was 6.
You were smoking. You were still smoking though. He smoked a pack a day when he was 7 years
I
old.
was 6.
Oh, no kidding. Where'd you hide them?
What do you call it? In my socks. In my socks.
Camels, no filters.
Camels, no filters. My
Oh,
grandfather
they
smoked
were
camels
Pall
with no
Mall,
filters.
no filter.
And we've had a pretty amazing journey. It's like,
Well, you said something, Max, that just kind of before, I think you both said it, that you're surprised that you get a younger audience,
Yeah.
20-somethings.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Hoboken.
Well, it's
I
the
mean,
music too. I
and
mean,
it's
we're
the-
playing this. I guess the style of music that we've evolved to. We've always kind of been this way, but the sound has changed. Definitely, the dynamic. We had a lot more delay. We used a lot more delay in the '80s. And it was you listen to those recordings and you can hear all that influence of those times. But it was great. It was good times. We played right through the '80s. We did shows, a lot of people, but the crowd has, we still bring a lot of the old timers. People like the music. If they like the music, they like the music, right? That's it, really. We're never going to sound like Metallica,
Do you
and we're
want
never
to?
going to sound like Billie Eilish.
No.
You don't want to. You
No,
want to
we don't
sound
want
like
to.
Marvelous
Not
Lives,
that that's no
right?
good. It's great.
We're the worst cover band in the universe, Danny, and we should never
remember
ever
you
play.
telling me that.
Yeah, we are not a good cover band, and we do a couple songs, and there's a cover on the album, Susie and the Banshees cover. But I laugh about the young people that come see us, and they say things like, "You guys are pretty cool for old guys," you know?
Oh yeah.
And you're going, "Oh, thanks." I go, you really are cool. I'm like, there's a younger group of people from 20 to 30 now, which is surprisingly into live music, which, you never thought that live music was going to come back and be popular, and to see a band play and pull it off, that's I think it's amazing, and we still can do that. I mean, I'm not bragging, but we music wise we could pull it off.
No, and that's saying something, because on the way here I was telling Claire that a friend of mine that lives in Toronto put a post on Facebook about how she went to a blues club over the weekend, and there was a bunch of adults in there, and the band they were in their 60s, and so the band was old. She is old. The audience members, for the most part, were older, yet they were all sitting around talking to each other, meeting new people. Strangers were at friends' table, and everybody got to know each other and talk. And she said then the next day she went to a park and sat in on a bench, and there's I want to say it might be like they're going to put that Neil Peart Memorial in Lakeside Park in Toronto.
Okay.
And a
Well,
situation
that's right. They
like
were
that.
Canadian, weren't they?
Right, where there was, where there's a circular area. She said there's nothing but young people. Not one of them was talking to the other. Not one of them was looking up from their electronic device, be it their phone or their iPad.
Yeah.
And she kind of lamented the fact that there's no social interaction today. Everything is done through electronics. So if you're getting 20-somethings saying, you're pretty cool for old dudes, yeah, that's fantastic, because at least you've tapped into that section of society that doesn't have their face buried in a cell phone.
For sure.
You know?
Well, they certainly can't talk on the phone when we're playing. We make sure of that.
We are a racket.
Because our amps go
we
to
make a heck of
our
a
amps
racket.
go to 12, not just 11.
No, but we play some songs. We actually went back into our Maximum America catalog. We pulled out some songs that were, it got some radio airplay and college airplay back in the day, like in the 90s, let's say. And we have brought some of those songs back after not playing them for 15 years, right? Maybe, Jim? Something like that.
Absolutely.
Stuff that Mark remembers when they used to come see us when we were playing out at like the Dirt Club and all these places in Jersey, CBGB's, which is in New York. But we bring the songs back, and a lot of the lyrics were chanting. We did a lot of chanting in those days, like, rah, 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 rah. So we would tell the people in the beginning of the song, say, okay, when it gets to this part, okay, this is it. You say, "Wouldn't that be nice?" is one of the songs. We say every time it comes around, you scream, "Wouldn't that be nice?" And they're not self-conscious. If you did that in a club with people that are like 50 or 60, they might not do it.
Or they'd
Unless
be
they've
like,
been drinking.
"Wouldn't that be nice?"
But these kids were like,
They were
they were
singing
going
along.
to town. And this
they were
really
loving it.
set off a bell in my head. I said, you know what? We're on to something. We're finally getting the hang of this. Oh, 40 years later.
40 years of slaving away.
Yeah, we got the hang of it.
Excellent.
So we'll see. In 20 or 30 years, man, forget it. We're slaying them.
I'm telling you.
Famous through attrition.
You're gonna be tapping into the 40-year-olds by then.
The real youngsters.
Working at the nursing home. Oh, yeah, come on over here.
Whoa.
I got a good one here
Hey,
to play for
Don't
you.
knock that market, Mike.
I was gonna say there's something to be
That's
said
the market.
there, man.
That's what we're going to play.
I got a buddy who hooked up with a management company that puts him in. He does a balladeer type of thing aside from his band,
Yeah.
where it's just him and some backing tracks, and he wears a fedora and a suit and a tie.
awesome.
And he goes to multiple nursing homes. It's like an hour and a half gig. He walks out with $300 and a computer under his arm. He's like, "This is the best." He goes, and the senior citizens love it. They clap, they sing, they chant. So there's a market for that stuff, Max.
Max he's thinking about it right now.
I'm thinking about it right now. You know what I'm thinking about? Converting this somehow into my adult-oriented puppet show that I got planned.
Whoa. Now
You've
here's
been
where,
talking about this for years.
right? I was gonna say here's where Mark can come in
Where
handy.
Mark can come.
He's got the sticks in the back. You can raise like the banners and stuff. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Do you have something smart to say back there, Mark?
Well, it's puppets and lasers.
Puppets and lasers.
That's an untapped area.
Yeah, that market has not been tapped. That's something you never see.
Who was your favorite drummer, Mark, growing up?
I was a big Keith Moon fan.
Okay.
The Kids Are All Right was, I think, the second album.
Now
I was obsessed with the Who when I was a kid.
Was that because of his raucous approach to playing, or was that because he was loud, or because he overfilled and made it work?
I think it was a mix of all those things. But I was attracted and afraid of the chaos of the Who, because with that album, The Kids Are Right, there's an awesome picture book that came with it. It was like 16 pages or whatever it was, and there's all these pictures of post-show Who shenanigans and liquor bottles littered on tables and hands, with blood from drumsticks, and Pete Townsend doing his windmills and stuff, and I was attracted and afraid of rock and roll, but it was the magnet that
drew you there,
pulled me in, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
awesome.
That's really well put, because now maybe people look and that's old hat, and they consider those bands harmless, but that was a world changing group. Zeppelin as well, and
you mentioned
Stones.
CBGBs.
Yeah.
My buddy sent me a documentary that had, who was the guy that played the villain in Harry Potter in the movies?
Voldemort?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
played
the
Hilly.
Ralph
Yeah, he
Fiennes.
played Hilly.
Oh, yeah,
you know
right.
the documentary I'm
Yes,
talking about?
yes,
For
awesome.
CBGBs? So you guys have seen that?
And
Well, we knew Hilly,
We lived
too.
it. We lived
lived there.
Yeah, we knew Hilly very
so
well.
you knew Hilly.
We
Yes.
knew Hilly very well,
Yeah.
and his daughter too, by the way, who she was
She was a
rough.
lawyer, right? But she was tending bar there once in a while.
Yeah, it was an awesome place.
That's what it had in the documentary. That's what he hired her to do, was 10 bars
Yes.
once in a while.
Oh yeah, it was an interesting place.
It was its own. It was kind of like, it was way famous before we got there. And everybody had played there, so everybody wanted to play there. We did a lot of shows there.
Yeah. When we first started, we'd play like Wednesday nights. I remember getting home when the birds were chirping in the morning.
Well,
Yeah.
we did Tuesday, Thursdays rehearsals for a long time.
Yeah,
we played twice
there.
a week.
We played one night, and there was almost no one there except this band walked in. It was Fishbone. You remember that night?
Yeah.
And
Fishbone.
Oh,
they
yeah.
sat right in front, and they had the best time. And they used to put the candles on the table and stuff there, and they're like lighting cigarettes and blowing smoke rings and stuff. They had a ball, man. It was awesome.
That was a cool
But,
place to
there
hang
was no
out.
one there for us.
Yeah.
A Wednesday night, like 1 in the morning.
Right,
you know?
right. Tremendous sound system.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
the sound system as a band was always like
Yes.
stone
Yeah, it was
on.
like that cavern room,
Right.
Yeah, it was cool.
And the bathrooms are legendary.
You know what I just heard, that they took most of the part of the CBG that's like displayed somewhere in the city.
I believe it.
Yeah, in the bathroom especially.
Because some years back, Tedeschi Trucks gave a private concert at CBGB's.
Oh really?
The old CBGB's.
Really?
It wasn't. This was after
Became
it
a clothing
closed.
store, right?
Right, the Bleecker and Bowery.
Yeah, I think a clothing store was when I was there. It was somewhat of a record shop.
Yes.
So it was the cantina and the
Yeah.
clothing store.
And the bar.
And I went there as my editor from a magazine I was writing for. She was a staff photographer for Tedeschi Trucks, so she called me. She's like, "Dude, I'm coming east, and you're my +1. We got a private showing with Tedeschi Trucks."
That must have been awesome.
And I'm like, "Well, where is it?" And she's like, "Well, it's at the old CBGB's." So we wind up, and they gave away free vodka drinks all night because it was sponsored by a vodka company. But I remember standing there thinking, this didn't look anything like this back in its heyday. I am 100% sure.
Yeah, somebody posted a picture on Facebook, and a place, it's just kind of destroyed. So I don't remember it that way either. There was less stickers when we played there, but still a lot of stickers.
A lot of stickers.
There you go.
They
Well,
were
why
stuck
don't we do some more music?
Sure.
Yes. Let's do this Susie song. Cities in Dust.
This was a massive.
Now, what made you pick this as a cover tune?
It just felt good. We were just fooling around. I mean, this happens a lot. We're just noodling around, and I just said, "Hey, let's try this as a cover song, or let's play it." And it sounded kind of cool. Yeah. It was a great song in its heyday. It was like a massive club hit. And I like Susie.
I actually heard the song played at a Baltimore Orioles Yankees game in Baltimore.
Really?
And that was kind of the impetus to start playing it again, because we had kind of put it on the back burner for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then post that trip, I was like, we got to play that song again.
Nice. All right. Well, websites and everything before we cut to this?
Yeah.
Joe's got the paper plate.
We got to read it off the plate because we don't remember anything. We do have a Facebook site, and we have two Facebook sites.
Joe looked like she was actually going to...
She's already
to the microphone there.
She's already posted on your Facebook page.
She
too.
did.
Mm-hmm.
And we have two pages just to confuse everybody. We have a YouTube channel, and we have our website, and we have Instagram too. We're on Instagram. And the TikTok. We're on the interweb, all over the interweb.
Yeah, we've got some some nice YouTube videos of our music. So.
Yeah,
excellent.
We're pretty happy about that. We did a couple videos in support of this album, which came out good. Mark did most of it.
Yeah, Mark did
Mark's
great
brilliant.
video for this.
He's absolutely a brilliant guy who puts all that stuff together.
Are you the video guy, Mark?
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a visual.
A creative.
Sound and vision.
So you're seen in other ways than behind the drum kit.
That's right.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, here's Our Marvelous Lives with the Susie and the Banshees cover called
Cities in Dust.
Cities
Did you really just tell me to be ready?
Oh, she
Yes,
told
I did.
you.
I did.
She knows.
'Cause
She
it-
knows that that's next to impossible. That's why I was shocked that she would say anything like that.
I tried. Only because last time there was still like 6 seconds on the end when it came back. So I just wanted you to be ready.
Well, I often joke
it
with
wasn't a
Claire because
critique.
she'll be like 10 seconds. So I'll pick up my headphones. All of a sudden I hear nothing but silence. I'm like,
Sometimes they ended soon.
She was
I
fooling
can't
you.
help it.
exactly. Or she'll say 30 seconds. Like 10 minutes later, I'm still sitting there. When the heck is this song ended? You know? Yeah, see, there you go.
So yeah. So yeah, I mean, just you brought up a point earlier, Danny, about people using the cell phones, whether they're older or younger, and with music, so many people connect with they listen to music on the phone. Like, and I often thought I have to sit down in front of 100 watts per channel speaker system to listen to music. I mean, I want to feel the music. And that's like, we still record that way. If you listen to I hear them in the headphones, but if you take some of these and you put them on a sound system and you play them, you start to dance around the room. So for me, and the band, it's like we have like these power chord things, which I just really like. But yeah, you don't get that in the phone, and I don't know what the answer to that is.
You don't get that from your iPad. You don't get that from the phone. One of the greatest experiences I ever have, I was invited to New York City to not Mercury Records. The other one begins with an M. What is it? They're owned by Sony.
No,
Epic.
Epic, yeah.
Epic Records. That begins with an M, right?
I was going to say,
For you it does.
Thank you. Epic Records. Because they told me I was going to interview one of the guys from Judas Priest, who had a new album coming out. It hadn't been released yet.
Cool.
So I get there, and my PR contact, who does a lot of work with deco artists, he pulls me aside and he says, all right, come on, I want to tell you. He takes me into this room, and there's a guy there. And I'm thinking I'm waiting for 10, 15 other PR media type people. The guy looks at me, goes, okay, read this and sign it. It was a non-disclosure thing. I couldn't talk about the Judas Priest album or air it or say anything about it until after it came out under penalty of law, so I sign it. And the guy says, all right, when it's over, he goes, I'll see you in about 45 minutes. When what's over? And in this room, because it was Epic Records, which I believe is owned or was owned, may still be by Sony, they got this sound system like floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
And that guy it was a CD, and he puts it in. And it was like that old Memorex commercial.
Yeah,
Remember where
Bob
the guy
Dylan.
sitting in a chair with his hair and his tie blowing back? I just sat there. I was mesmerized.
Yeah.
Mesmerized. And there was nothing to look at.
Right.
But the sound quality.
Right.
And like you said, Max, I mean, how can they listen on telephones?
It's not as satisfying. I mean, it's like having a diet non-dairy cheesecake. It's very much like that.
Max, that's so poetic. That is so poetic.
No, I mean, I had a friend of ours, another music file, and he had just purchased this outrageous stereo system, and he goes, you got to check this out. So I went over to his place, and he played a remastered version of Bridge of Sighs by Robin Trower, who was a favorite of mine. I love Robin Trower. Well, I melted. I was like melting in my chair. It was tremendous, beautiful texture, but you can't get that on a phone.
No.
Right.
No.
And you can't even live. If you're there, you get it live. You get the feeling live. We're a very good live band.
I was just going to say, you strike me as more of a live band.
We're more than a live
the
band.
recordings.
Yeah, than recording. We like to go in the studio. We're good at it, but live, the people get to
whole
hear
different
and
animal.
feel. Oh, it's a whole different animal. So, and it's very. And Max is right. It's hey, you got to listen to music. You got to listen to it at 10, in your face, really to feel the energy. And actually, it doesn't matter what kind of music it is.
Well,
I think any kind of music.
They have to listen to it the way you recorded it. It's like looking at a picture of the Mona Lisa is different than standing in front of it. So, I mean, I'm not comparing us to that, but I'm just saying that's the feeling to me. It's that, if you listen to it on a speaker that's the size of like a brook trout's ear, and it's like beep 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 beep. Or you're getting it full force like live when it's really like crunchy and the sound is great, and the kick drum is vibrating against your chest. Those are beautiful things. That's live music, and that's the energy of live music.
Right.
And sometimes we do it to ourselves when we're playing too. We're like, we kind of like look at each other. We're like, I mean,
you guys don't stink.
Yeah, like we're actually not half bad.
Just this moment, not like.
Excellent. You're not half bad.
Yeah,
but what
right.
about the other half?
You're all bad. Oh my gosh.
So, you guys have any gigs coming up?
Yeah, we do.
What do we have coming up?
Mark, you want to talk about the gig?
Yes, we will be opening up for the mighty Reverend Horton Heat a week from this Saturday at Artie's in Frenchtown.
What's the date on that?
June 14th.
It's a Flag Day, a matter of fact.
Yes.
Saturday.
I only know that because in 1983, I had my first speeding ticket, my one and only, on Flag Day.
And that's when you joined the band, right?
I
Jim?
celebrate that day every year. So.
And that only proves that you're extremely weird. But
Well, listen, if you're not pulled over by the cops, it's a win.
It's a win. Especially on Flag Day.
And the Reverend asked us back. He was very impressed
nice
by
guy.
us. He said something beautiful to Max, right? When remember what he said to you?
Yeah, this is funny because there's a phrase that I think it's a musician speak thing, and I'm not sure. It might be code, and I might be giving it away. Like this might be the Masonic Lodge of rock and roll. But like the guys, like I was playing a Gretsch at the show, just like the Reverend Horton Heat plays Gretsch guitars pretty much, and I have one too. I have Electromatic, and I love it, and I just had it redone. But he's like, "See you down the road." And then we played with the Smithereens, and I was talking to Dennis Dyken, and he's like, "See you down the road."
Yeah, that's like.
And then the Surfer Jets opened for either one of those. I think it was the Reverend Horton Heat. And
They said we don't want to see you down the road.
So all female.
We
it's a
won't
surf
be
band.
on that road.
They're a surf.
We have
band.
that effect on
They
women,
called
Danny.
security?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't stand so close to me, and
But
we
when
won't
you-
see you on the road.
Yeah, when you play with a lot of the musicians and bands, and if they're great people, and they are, sometimes
a
you run-
thing. Hey.
Yeah, and you just talk to them, and you just talk about stories, and after the set, and you're like, wow, it's like we're doing the same thing.
When you guys did your first gig with a band of stature, let's say,
Right.
that was known, and you were opening for them, did you share a green room with them?
No.
No, I don't think we ever did. We were next door to the Primitives, Tracy.
Oh,
when
my
we
God.
played at 930 Club down there, and she was like yelling at her band. And but we were next door to it, so we kind of felt bad for them.
Yeah, we had our own room.
Wasn't
Wasn't
because
that
you had your
Maria
own
McKee?
dressing
Because we
room.
played with who's Maria McKee? What was she in? Lone Justice?
Yeah.
We opened
Justice.
for them.
She did not want to share a room with us,
No,
but
We
we
actually-
did share a room with Little Steven, and he was great, right?
Yeah,
TM
his
Stevens.
yeah.
TM
I don't know if
Stevens.
he was in the room at that point in time.
Yeah, he was. So,
I only
Joan
asked,
Jett too. She was very cool.
Yeah, I hear she's really cool.
She's a very nice person. And Ramones, I mean, I have really no complaints. I mean, we've done CMJ conferences. Gosh, we met. Mike and I were talking to Sinead O'Connor at some place. She was just kind of had the first album. She'd come over here, and we were hanging out with. We'd seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the Green Parrot in Neptune, New Jersey, because we used to play there a lot.
Right.
And they really do that with the socks. They do that special thing. I could not believe. I thought nobody would do that.
And they did it.
And they certainly did it.
I think you guys asked me if I was willing. I was like, no way.
Well, we don't have. We need really small socks.
Sinister Footwear. Go to sinisterfw.com. Use the promo code DCR Socks at checkout.
But
And like
Anthony
a Moyle,
Kiedis-
you'll get 10% off.
Thank you. But you'd be surprised. You talk to people and you just talk about life and the road and music. And like Anthony Kiedis is like, just a normal dude.
Oh, he's a great guy. He was an awesome guy to meet in rock and roll. So, and there's some bad ones, but most of them are all good.
I asked that because the first time I've been lucky enough to do some pretty cool gigs over my life. And the first time I was ever in the backstage, there was one big green room. And I'm sitting on the couch in between Doug Wimbush and Corey Glover. And then across from me is Sarah Dash from LaBelle Gary U.S. Bonds, and I'm looking around like, and then this woman comes in and she says, before we kick everything off, let's get everybody to sign these posters. We're going to auction them off because it's a charity thing.
Ah, nice.
I was in a house band, and everybody signs them, and I just took it and passed it along. And the woman's like, "What are you doing? You got to sign it." I'm like, "Oh, I'm just a percussion guy." She's like, "Are you part of this or not?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And for me to do a gig like that, I didn't feel like I belonged, because here I am with all these like famous people that made it.
Right.
I'm just lucky to be sitting on the couch here between Corey Glover and Doug Wimbush and having pizza.
Well,
That's awesome.
And so that's why I asked, because I was curious as to what your reaction was the first time you ever did a gig with people that were perhaps more known than our Marvelous Lives.
Well, we were pretty frightened of the Ramones. I remember like we thought we were gonna get killed. We thought people were gonna throw stuff at us like bottles and it was like, because we heard these stories,
Right.
Well, not from them, but from their
No,
fans.
not from the band.
From the fans. Yeah, the band didn't throw any bottles.
No, let's make that clear. But I do remember clearly, I'll never forget this, Joey Ramone coming out of the dressing room while we're playing and like just go like on the side of the stage, he just did this. He just gave a thumbs up. And I was like, whoa. I was just completely blown away. And that's Joey Ramone, man. I'm like, and he gave us a thumbs up. That's like, just saying. And someone got to throw you a leather jacket.
Yeah, well, it's like you never know because they're there to see the band.
Right.
People go there and they've been drinking and they're rambunctious, and it's a rowdy crowd. The Ramones, it's like a punky, the Ramones. Okay. So we come out, we got a keyboard player, so that's the first problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, what is this? And you guys aren't like, aha, are you? So we're like on a full stage. We're like 4 feet off. We're like 4 feet off the floor. We're on a stage, and at that time we had a lot of Dayglow stuff splashed all over our equipment. That Dayglow paint, and we had black lights that we put out. So when the house lights they'd flip them on and off, and there'd be this crazy like glow of lights. But Mike had one on behind his keyboard, and he plays the keyboard on a ironing board is a stand, and he was playing the keyboards. He was like banging on it, and the 4-foot double light fixture with giant fluorescent ultraviolet lights falls down and smashes on the floor, explodes, and the people going, yeah, they were like, that's awesome. After that we were in.
Oh yeah,
we were in.
Like you guys are cool.
Like when a guy electrocuted himself at CBGB.
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy. So it just took one thing. They thought, oh, that band's real. They destroy stuff. That was cool. So
and we were cool.
And you're in.
Yeah, we're cool.
And we were in, and we rocked it. We did a good job, I think. And but we hung out. We were with the guys from Sponge because we opened for them at Dingbats, and then we played with them at the Homestead in Morristown, which is a giant like hangar place. It's and that place was jammed. But they were upstairs in a back room. And Hob was talking to one of the guys about the guitar thing, and we just went in. He goes, "Hey, you want a beer?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." So they were just average Joes.
Excellent. Why don't we do some more music? What do we got, about
Yes.
15 minutes left, Claire? All right.
Sinners and Saints.
Sinners and
Play.
Saints.
I want to hear that.
Okay.
This is a song about, it's kind of a timely topic. People are, that not everybody's sure of their identities. And, Mike came in with this kind of cool keyboard groove, and we just, we put it together. So enjoy.
Our Marvelous Lives.
Nothing's quite as sure as changing. What was is all different now. Some things are sure to shake us, but we need an open mind. Some people switch directions. There's a voice that speaks inside. They know there's someone different. No reason to ask why. Sinners and saints passing judgment, telling us all the way it ought to be. Shallow or deep, we all got an opinion. Talk is cheap. How can someone see inside us? Sometimes we don't even know. Who says your road is written? The moment you are born, yeah. Sinners and saints passing judgment, telling us all the way it ought to be. Shallow or deep, we all got an opinion. Talk is cheap, you know that talk is cheap. Sinners and saints passing judgment, telling us all the way it ought to be. Shallow or deep, we all got an opinion.
Our Marvelous Lives here on Rock On Radio.
Little reggae flavor to that, maybe too. You know, with, Mark's influence
Mark's fault?
sneaking in.
Yeah.
That's right. That's your fault.
It's his fault. No, he threw that in there. He threw that style in there. That song's a little different than the rest of it. Like every song sounds different on this album. It's actually, I think we deliberately did that because we didn't want them all to sound the same.
Right.
And I guess for a band that's hard to do, but we did that.
Well, we've only got, you said, about 5 or 6 minutes left?
7.
Uh-oh.
Now 6.
6 minutes left? And you guys have a song, one more song you wanted to get to, right?
Yes.
That'd be great.
More of the same. It's a rocker. It's a good one.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll play that, then we'll come back and we'll wrap it up, get
Yeah.
your websites and everything all over again.
Sounds great.
Sounds good to me.
Good.
All right. Here's our
Beautiful.
Marvelous Lives and a song called
More of the same.
tell me where do I fit in? Can you tell me? Won't you tell me where do I fit in? I'm sorry for the curtain call halfway through the show. It's more of the drama of the moment passing by me way too slow. It's more of the same. If you breathe the air with me, we can wish away tonight. If you seize tomorrow with me, I won't let you go. Till the end of time. Tell me, won't you tell me where do I fit in? Can you tell me? Won't you tell me where do I fit in? 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 Do I
His prison friends all live down there.
It's a small world, though.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. How long were you in prison anyway? Jim?
It was 3 months, but it was hell.
Hard labor. Hard labor.
Now, you tell us that was the best 3 months of your life, Jim. You learned so many things in the wood shop.
Worked out every day.
I thought he worked in the barber shop.
Just to get combs so I could file them down.
That's right.
Oh, man, more of the same.
We got about a minute left,
Uh-oh.
gentlemen. Again, websites and everything. How do we find our Marvelous
You
Lives?
can look on YouTube. You can Our Marvelous Lives on YouTube. You can go on Facebook for Our Marvelous Lives, and that will give you our link tree information. We're playing with the Reverend Horton Heat. We're opening for the Reverend Horton Heat at Artie's in Frenchtown Saturday the 14th. Great show. If you like the Reverend, you like rockabilly or psychobilly, he's your man. All right, great band and really nice guys. One of the few artists who will sit around and do autographs after the show until everybody's done.
Excellent. Fantastic. Jill, if I were you, I would take that paper plate with me. And when they're on stage, you just fling it at them. It works like a Frisbee.
Hit
You
'em right
saw
in the head.
Mike throw it at Mark earlier.
That's right.
Mike, he does that. We do that live, and he catches it in his teeth.
Excellent.
Yes.
Like a
Oh, yeah.
golden retriever.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Then I light fireworks off the side of my head and like.
It's quite the show, really.
Perfect.
And the light falls.
Very
Yes.
patriotic. Very
Yes.
patriotic.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for making the trip out
No,
here.
thank
to the
you, Danny.
Hinterlands.
Thanks for having us.
You guys both.
Thank you, and thanks for the pizza, and Jill, thank you for the cookies and keeping these guys in line, and the root beer. So
Yeah.
we did have beer at Rock on Radio once again.
Cool. Right.
Next week we have Dez and the Swagmatics.
Yeah.
And then I think on the 25th we have Bumblefoot, Ron Bumblefoot Tall coming in.
Well,
here,
it'll be on the 29th. So.
Yep. Excellent. So again, thank you, gentlemen. Until next week. Rock on, baby.